Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building.
That's right. Breeze Nation, what is good? Oh my God! Got a lot to talk about on today's Morning Breeze. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, as always. On today's episode, got to take a look at the reported trade value that was out there for Trey Hendrickson. Seems like the Bengals were willing to lower it. And ask the question, were the Bears too cheap at the trade deadline? And then we do have the Giants coming up here this week. I got to take a look at our 3 keys to a Chicago Bears victory over the New York City Giants. Ladies and gentlemen, the date is 11/6/2025. A little late, 7:19 in the morning. But the Hawks won last night. Chicago, we up. We up. Blackhawks won 5-3. Little Mad Hatter from Bertuzzi last night. Oh, Chicago, the good times keep rolling, baby. The good times keep on rolling. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, as always, to another edition of the Morning Breeze. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do.
Come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us, as always, this morning. Make sure that you guys stay tapped in with us, as an interesting report has come out here. This is per Dan Graziano, that the Cincinnati Bengals were willing to lower their price on going out and getting Trey Hendrickson. Now, this is very interesting because all season, at different points throughout the season, we have talked about, should the Chicago Bears go out and see if a guy like Trey Hendrickson is available. He already knows DA's system. He already knows what DA expects of him. And could he be on the market here? And if he is, should the Bears jump at that opportunity? Now, I'm sorry, I said Dan Graziano. This is per Jeremy Fowler. He said the 3-6 Bengals had a compelling case to move Trey Hendrickson. Teams I spoke to believe Cincinnati wanted a second rounder for him. Dallas, which pursued Hendrickson, considered that steep. Now, here's what we don't know. Here is the part of what we don't know. Trey Hendrickson right now is banged up. You still have to get a contract worked out. And did teams around the league, because it's not just the Bears that didn't trade for him, but did teams around the league think that the injury was possibly too much for you to give a second rounder up, because you're not going to have enough of Trey this season And then you still got to work out a contract with him going forward. Maybe teams believe that this is the beginning of the fall off. Maybe teams are just like, for a second rounder, I'm willing to get into the bidding war this offseason after you screw this up yet again. But if you were the Chicago Bears for a second rounder, would you be jumping at the opportunity to have first rights to go get a guy like Trey Hendrickson? And we've kind of seen this situation happen here before, and it's bit us in the butt. And it's bit us in the butt both times, where you gave up that second rounder for Montez Sweat. You gave up that second rounder for Chase Claypool. And maybe Ryan Poles didn't want to repeat the mistake of giving up the second rounder because this has not worked in his favor. But I would also say you also haven't given up that second rounder for a player who is of Trey Hendrickson's ilk. You also weren't giving up that second rounder for a player who comes in with nearly as much cachet as Trey Hendrickson. 30 years old here. He'll be 31 on December 5th. I mean, he is somebody who is dominant both in the run and in the pass. He's played in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games this season. He has 4 sacks on the season. He's got 17 and a half, 8, 14, 13, 4.5, 2. Baki says, if I'm the Bears or any team around the league, I wouldn't trade a second rounder for Trey Hendrickson when I know he's going to be an unrestricted free agent this offseason. Poles learned his lesson. You know what? And I think that is really the conversation. That is really the conversation. Is it worth it for you to give up that draft capital to have first rights to keep him here? Now, again, this is still a situation where the Bengals could do this all over again. Trey Hendrickson is not just scot-free. This is not the end and he can be out of the contract or running. They can throw that tag on him again and go through this entire process again. Is it going to cost a lot more? Heck yeah. But this doesn't just have to be a we just let Trey Hendrickson walk away situation. Now, do I think that's possibly where we're heading? That for me is tough to say. That for me is tough to say because I don't think the Bengals would have to be, which maybe they are with getting into this situation, one of the dumbest franchises in football. If you let Trey Hendrickson go for nothing, and now next year's situation, maybe you put the tag on him, you try and figure things out, and you take much less. Maybe it's a third rounder next year, or it's a fourth rounder. That's a very different situation there. But I think, to me, you're also weighing what you can add possibly to the team. But on top of that, you're weighing out, is it worth it to add it to the team this season? Trey Hendrickson changes the dynamic of this defense. He does. As far as wins and losses, Trey Hendrickson puts you in a position where you say, and I think this is the part where being the GM is tough. I don't know what the right answer is. To me, as the Bears fan, I would have jumped at an opportunity to go get Trey Hendrickson. As trying to think of this logically, trying to think of this as somebody who, feels like, okay, you want to have the future capital. You want to be able to go out and draft a guy. You want to be able to go out and, find your own Trey Hendrickson in a sense, which I think is going to be the big part of the conversation here. When I look at what this team is currently, if I'm trading just a second, you still got to make the money work. You still got to figure out contract situation for Trey Hendrickson. It ain't just about moving a second round pick if you're the Chicago Bears, probably. It has to financially make sense for you, which means now you have to restructure guys' deals. Now you have whatever it takes to get him here. But I do look at it and say, Trey Hendrickson still have Montez Sweat. Your defensive line is in a different conversation. Now it's not just, hey, you're trying to go out there and be competitive in the NFC North. Now it's, hey, you're trying to make a little run here year one because you feel like you figured something out offensively. You feel like you've gotten enough answers from Caleb Williams here at this point in the season where you go, let's go get this guy. Let's go try and win as many games as possible this year while people aren't expecting it. Like, I do get it. The Coldest Jenkins, $2 super chat. Shout out to you, my guy. He said, we're building, no Super Bowl yet. Bears did right. Doesn't mean you can't build with them. Doesn't mean you can't build with them. And again, there's a lot that you have to figure out here. Trey signed a 1-year, $30 million deal for the 2025 season, which includes a $14 million raise. The Bengals still have the opportunity, if they want to use that franchise tag on him, which would cost an estimated $34.8 million. So you could run this back yet again, give him another raise if you wanted to. Did the Bears make the right decision here? That's the question for you all out there today. If I'm going to be honest with you, listen, I love the player. I would have loved to have Trey Hendrickson on this team. I think it changes the dynamic of your ability to win games this season. But logically, I don't think the end-all, be-all is just this season. And dare I say, this is the one time where I do agree you have to go out and actually think about not just this year's Chicago Bears, but the future of this Chicago Bears. Because, dog, at a certain point, your second round has got to start hitting. Now, there is no player out there that could have been available like Trey Hendrickson. There just isn't. But you can go out and draft guys that hopefully, based off of your assessment, can live up to that in Dennis Allen's defense. Oh, by the way, Dennis Allen is also the guy that found you Khalil Mack, that found Trey Hendrickson, that brought along Cam Jordan and was a part of finding Cam Jordan. Like he's that guy. So you have the guy in the building who was a part of the evaluation group that brought these guys to the cities they ended up going to and developed them. Comment from Kobe said, Hendrickson is playing on the worst defense in the league. Imagine his stock value will go down this offseason. Bears can get him on the cheap after this season. On the cheap, but got to pay him more money and got to restructure the contract yet again. That's all the things you got to think about. It ain't going to be cheap. It ain't going to be cheap. The franchise tag for him next year is $34 million. And again, you got to take into account how the financials of this all work. You would have had to fit that into the cap, a cap where you had probably, after signing C.J. Gardner-Johnson, $5 million left. So are you trading a player in that instance? Are you giving up more value than just a second round pick? Those are all things that go into play. Those are all things that you have to think about if you're Ryan Poles right now. And to me, I actually do believe that Ryan Poles made the right decision here. I think that there was a good call. Now, it is, thinking logically on it, trying to think about the future of the team. Here's the caveat of it now. That second round pick that you didn't trade to become Trey Hendrickson, which I would assume would have been in this upcoming draft, who's that going to be? Now I'm looking at you sideways. Now I'm looking at you and saying, hey, these picks that you didn't trade for guys that you know can make an impact, these picks that you didn't trade for guys that you know already understand the system, that you know already are going to immensely help your defense for the future of this team, that you know are dominant players in this NFL, who'd you select with that? We're going to be watching that like a hawk. Because here's the part that he hasn't gotten right. Going out and finding the guy that can eventually become that. See, we've got a couple of feel-good pieces right now. Right, Kyle Monangai right now, 7th round pick. It hit feel-good piece. Love that. Boom, here we go, baby. It's our favorite Shamar Turner play. Unfortunately, he was banged up, but he's the 2nd round pick. Or unfortunately, he is banged up right now, but he's the 2nd round pick. Oh, by the way, he's been injured twice in his rookie season. Remember, he missed a good chunk because he was hurt the beginning of camp. Missed all of that. Was pretty much hurt throughout the season. Got rolled up on. Missed a big chunk. Came back, and now is on season-ending injury. So it's not just, hey, did you not make the trade? Was this not worth it for you? You don't get the player. Who are you going to get? Right now, we got feel-good stories. I like Luther Burden. I love what I've seen from him. I think he's going to be a phenomenal football player. I don't see him enough on the field. I don't see him enough in the game plan. Is that because we got people ahead of him? Well, I'm going to be honest with you. If you took a dude at the beginning that can't beat out Olamide Zaccheaus, I got questions. Don't mean he's not talented. But is he at the level that you need him to be at? I also look at, I think Ozzie Trapillo is a future play. And I will say this as well. And I had this conversation with Yurko yesterday. I think the conversation on from college to the NFL we're going to have to start having is that these guys are going to take a little bit longer at certain positions. Listen, wide receiver, you should be able to come in and make plays. Wide receiver is footwork. It is, skill set. You only have to learn your part, or you only have to know when the play call is coming in, your part of the play. Then you run out to your spot. You have to understand what your motions and all that stuff are. Like, it's not that it's easy, but it's easier than a quarterback or a linebacker or an offensive lineman. I think there's certain positions now with how different college football is, we're going to have to adjust our thinking on, where we say, listen, he ain't going to hit in year one. Well, why didn't he hit in year one? Because he had to sit there for 4 years of college and go, all right, y'all see that? Baseball screw. Baseball screw. Y'all know that play, right? All right, here we go. Set hut. He didn't call nothing. I think there's more of a learning process. I think we looked it up yesterday. It was like the last linebacker that came in and kind of made somewhat of an instant impact. That was a first-round pick is Patrick Queen. That's 2020. Telling me in 5 years there hasn't been a single linebacker that's come in and made an impact? So I think you gotta take all that into account as well. But I say all that to say, now looking at this Trey Hendrickson pick here, or the 2nd round pick that could have been gotten for Trey Hendrickson, what do you do with it? Because while I like the idea of going and finding that guy in the draft, you got to go find that guy in the draft. We'll see if the Bears can find a way to do that. Hey, man, let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you guys as well. Do got to get into our 3 keys to a Chicago Bears victory this week. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. We're going to take a quick break, listening to a word from our sponsors over at Aura. And when we come back, talking more Chicago Bears with you guys, the fans. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. As always, man, we'll be right back right after this.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have 1 or 2 of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold. Breeze Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Ladies and gentlemen, we got merch. That's right. New website, new merch, all out. We've been telling you guys to pull up on us. Now you can at twcbreeze.com, where you can find out all of the latest stuff going on. What all can they find there, Super Producer?
Listen, you can join the nation, sign up to our mailing list, and be up to date for events and news. You can also visit the shop page and order merch, because we have t-shirts, we got hoodies, we got mugs, we got hats, we got all kind of stuff. So, hey, we appreciate you being tuned in with us. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube page and follow us on all our socials. Check us out at twcbreeze.com.
He's way too excited.
I am.
Welcome back. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love as always. Shout out to Vern. Said, yo, Pat, in my opinion, this is the right approach. If you don't want to go all in too quickly, spitting teams in the backside before. Look at the Commanders and us in 2018. We traded for Mac, had no team around him. It's a point. It's a point. I think your quarterback situation changes that a lot right now. But I do think that if you're the Chicago Bears right now, this was the right move by Ryan Poles. Let us know how you guys feel in the comments below, man. Do you think that this is the right move to not go out and get Trey Hendrickson? All right, talk about our 3 keys to a Chicago Bears victory this week. By the way, shout out to you guys for tuning in and showing love, man. As always, we are over 100 and a check. Over 200 and a check. 200. Appreciate y'all for showing love, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Make sure you give the thumbs up, and hit that hype button as well. As JC says, hype me up. I don't like it. Felt weird. I didn't like it going in. I didn't like how it, no. We're not going to do that anymore. Key number 3 for me to a Chicago Bears victory this week. Yet again, establishing the run. This Bears team, the last couple of weeks, has done a really good job of establishing the run to the point where they now have the 9th ranked offense in the entire NFL and the 3rd best rushing offense in the entire NFL. And what I think you saw that it unlocked was Caleb Williams' ability to, when you have that play action available, the rollouts and all of that all of a sudden work so incredibly well because people are worried about a guy like Kyle Monangai, who I think does get the start again, going through your face, and that type of stuff tires you out. Now, am I saying I need him to go out there and get 176 again? No, I don't need him to go all in on that, but it's the continued pressure because you've got a defensive line here, at least the front 4. Brian Burns getting after guys, right? You don't want to make his job way too easy. And I think, how do you tire these guys out? How do you make these guys work harder than they need to work? You make sure that you're sitting there running the football through their face the entire time. And when you do that, right, like the defensive line scrambles a little bit, like it forces you to focus more on the run. And if you do that, it opens up those passing lanes so much, especially those down the field shots that we really want to see this team start to, well, I can't even say start to, because they are completing. I think they have the most 20-plus yard passes in the NFL right now. But see this team complete on a consistent basis here. And I think that you did a really good job of that versus the Bengals. But I'll tell you what, as bad as this defense is, it ain't the Bengals. The Bengals may be the worst defense we've ever seen. The Bengals may be the worst defense in the world we've ever seen. 1,000 yards in 2 weeks is crazy. And to be honest, bro, they might put up 1,500. They might get 1,500 yards put on them. What do the Bengals play this week? The Bengals got, oh my God. Do the Bengals got Aaron Rodgers coming to town? Bengals got Aaron Rodgers coming to town. Woo! They might get 1,500 yards put on them in 3 weeks, bro. It might be the worst defense we've ever seen in our life. But hey, man, I think that, to me, this is an opportunity for you to yet again establish that run and go out there and be a dominant player. Go out there and be a dominant offense yet again. Key number 2 for me in this whole situation: do what you did in the red zone yet again. The efficiency in the red zone. And here's the one thing that we know: Ben Johnson's game plan will get you there. The Chicago Bears will be in the red zone. The Chicago Bears will 100% have opportunities to score. Make sure that turns into 7 more times than it turns into 3, because there are going to be times where the Giants are able to get a stop. There are going to be times where you're going to have to kick a field goal in the red zone. And the one time that it happens, if you score touchdowns before that, don't go, oh my God, I can't believe we're not being efficient in the red zone. Must act like Caleb. He's still leaving points on the board. I'm sorry. Sometimes the defense gets paid too. Would I like to see the Bears go down there and score every single time? Yeah. I also understand that those offenses take time to develop. And so, to me, when I look at it and I see this 21st straight defense, when I see how the Giants have struggled in the red zone, I want to see the Bears take advantage of that more times than not. Yet again, I think that's going to be the most important thing. And what I love about it is Ben Johnson has this system in place that is making it so that you're going to get guys opportunities down there. It's just about if they're able to take advantage of them. Caleb Williams has to keep that head on a swivel, and he can't take you out of plays. I think that's the most important thing. That if you're going to be out there making this all work, you can't allow your time in the red zone to be you doing the spin-a-rooney and running away and trying to make something happen that's not going to happen and getting out of it. Find your guy, identify it, rip the football. That's what you did versus the Bengals. That's what I would love to see you do versus the G-Men here this coming Sunday. And my number 1 key to a Chicago Bears victory over the New York Football Giants find a way, which I think won't be that difficult, with no Cam Scatterbo back there. I think he is a very different quarterback. Find a way to make J.J. McCarthy pass the football. Do not allow his legs to get involved in this game. I'm sorry, I said J.J. McCarthy. Jackson Dart. Find a way to make Jackson Dart one-dimensional. Because when he's using those legs, that's when he gets dangerous. When he's using the legs, to me, that's when he's at his most dangerous. Even versus the 49ers. I mean, listen, he's going to complete some footballs here. Your DB room, you haven't gotten enough pressure. You haven't gotten to the quarterback enough times where the pressure is consistent. Yes, you do have the sack numbers, but I'm talking about pressure in the face of these guys. Jackson Dart on the season, when he has been successful, and they lost last week, but he had a successful week. 111 passing yards, 54 rush yards, 202 passing yards, 55 rush yards, 195 passing yards, 58 rush yards. Couple of weeks where they just got absolutely devastated in there, right? You had where's the pass yards? Yeah, he had 283 pass yards. It was going up head to head. Remember, this is versus Denver. He had 11 rush yards. He focused on passing in that game, but it was, again, kind of similar situation, not getting home enough there. That's probably the best game we've seen from him this season. 193, 1 touchdown. He had 17 pass yards in that game. And then last week, he looked a lot more like Jackson Dart. 191 pass yards, 56 rush yards. Keep him a one-dimensional guy. You keep him a one-dimensional guy. You're able to get pressure up the middle. Now, all of a sudden, Jackson Dart doesn't look so phenomenal. Like, to me, this is prime opportunity, and you don't have very many of these, where coming off of a big win, everybody questioning you. Am I going to sit here and say this is a dominant win? No. But it's a win that you should have. And looking ahead at your schedule, this is probably the last win that you should have. After that, you've got Vikings, you got Steelers, you've got Eagles, you've got Packers, you got Bears. I'm sorry, you got Browns, you got Packers again, you got 49ers, you got Lions. This is the last win that you should have on the schedule. The second half of this season is a gauntlet. You're out of your gimme wins. And so you want to give yourself enough of a cushion where you go, okay, maybe we find a way to beat the Vikings. That'd be great. Steelers, they're a little up and down. Maybe we can fight our way in there. Eagles, we know who they are. As much as I hate to say it, Packers, well, Micah Parsons coming. At a minimum, Micah Parsons is coming. Browns, Myles Garrett's pissed off. 49ers just keep finding ways to make it work. And maybe Purdy's back by then. And then you finish off the season with the Lions, and the hope is that you're playing, as Ben Johnson said, your best football by December. That would be the January game. Hopefully we've had a month of playing our best football, and we've dominated, gone 3-1 in the month of December. That'd be great, but there's no more gimme wins, so you have to make sure that you do everything that you can to go 1-0 yet again this week. I'm going to get up out of here, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We got a lot more coming for you guys throughout the week, and, of course, the live call on Sunday, which we've kind of figured some things out here. So these live calls may start getting a lot more interesting. Make sure that you tune in with us this Friday as well for the Chicago Bulls live call as the Bulls take on the Milwaukee Bucks for the NBA Cup group stage second game here. So make sure to tap in with us on that. As always, man, it's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bet down, one love. And Jimmy Hoffa, shout out to the Panthers. Peace.
Red Nation, are we here? The best show for Chicago sports.